Well, good morning. This is Ann Sherman, and it's a privilege that I've been asked to share my presentation from Leadership on Culture. And these are the words that I spoke that day. This is the greatest of honors to be asked to share, to speak with you, the leaders of this powerful company. We are the influencers of today and tomorrow. What we say, what we do, how we dress, our language will influence our consultants, our future leaders. Remember the famous statement made by Karen Pirro, NSD Emeritus. What is caught is more important than what is taught. We must know our culture. We must teach our culture. But most importantly, we must live our culture. I'm delighted to have served Mary Kay for 4 decades. When Mary Kay spoke, I believed every word. I never doubted or questioned her intentions. I was fortunate, very fortunate, that my mom gave me great roots in character, work ethic, and to make every effort of always doing my best. However, I was very unpolished. I was a young mom of 3 little boys when I began this journey. I didn't think it was my job to dream or expect to achieve. That was Jim's job. Mary Kay molded me with her words and her wisdom. And I want to read to you exact words that Mary Kay published. It was in the mid-70s when this little story was presented to Mary Kay by my senior director, Helene Reiners, Emeritus, from Minnesota. Mary Kay came to Minneapolis, and she was the closing speaker. And I would like to read the words that Mary Kay wrote about this little story. We would like to invite you to help us change the world. It is said that our country is in trouble. And Mary Kay, we believe that we as a nation can and should return to the simple things that made our country great, such as honesty, responsibility, hard work, and yes, caring about each other and showing kindness and love to those with whom we come in contact. Our Mary Kay way of showing that we care is symbolized by a little puff of small pink fur, and we call her a warm fuzzy. Our warm fuzzy has its origin in a lovely once-upon-a-time story about a hidden valley populated with happy people. They didn't have TVs, hamburger stands, or golf courses, and they didn't know you had to have these things to be happy. The people of the Happy Valley gave each other warm fuzzies each time they met, and this exchange always brought them happiness. It simply meant that they cared about one another. One day, a wicked old witch flew over the Happy Valley and saw these happy people hugging and kissing each other, and she thought, how ridiculous! I got to go down there and show these people how to be like the rest of the world. So guess what? She flew down and she started a rumor that there was going to be a shortage of warm fuzzies. Being human, the people of the Happy Valley reacted like everyone else. They went home and they hid their warm fuzzies in dark closets in the basements and in the attics. And they began to avoid each other so they wouldn't have to give away their warm fuzzies. And soon people began to mistrust one another. And fear and hate and loneliness came to the valley for the first time. The Happy Valley became just like the rest of the world. And they, too, gave electric coffee pots for wedding gifts instead of warm fuzzy. Well, one day, a great-grandmother told her great-grandchildren about the good old days when everybody loved each other and they gave each other warm fuzzies. The children got so excited about the idea that they went out and hunted up a few of the old warm fuzzies that they could find, and they began to give them away. And you know what happens when you give a warm fuzzy away? It multiplies. And soon the adults saw how happy the children were, and they began to exchange warm fuzzies. Well, you guessed it. The Happy Valley returned to its original state, where people loved and cared about each other. Well, we at Mary Kay Cosmetics want to help return America to its original state of people sharing and caring about one another. We hope that you will join us in this effort and vow to give a warm fuzzy to every single person with whom you come in contact with from this moment on. Remember, a warm fuzzy can be a hug, it can be a kiss, it can be a smile, it can be a wave when you're sitting at a stoplight. It's any act of kindness you do for another human being, and we all can live happier, more fulfilling lives by caring and sharing. All it takes is giving everyone you meet a warm fuzzy today and every day. We care about you, and Mary Kay signed her name. Well, as I told you, my senior director wrote this story and presented it to Mary Kay in 1974. That day, Mary Kay asked Helene for her script, and at seminar that year, she read Helene's exact words and presented everyone in attendance a warm fuzzy. I knew she spoke the truth. She consistently asked that we keep her priorities of God, family, and career. I'm so grateful that I could be home with my boys and still earn and gain in my self-esteem and self-worth. I believe, and many of you do too, we must teach and live our culture or it's going to disappear. When we show each other we care, we expect them to achieve. Mary Kay gets into them, and it's more about building trust. It's all about building trust. Today's world, that is a must. I want my consultants to trust me as I trusted Mary Kay. No doubts or questions of my intention. Consultants that demonstrate that caring, go-give spirit, they flourish, they excel, and they duplicate themselves. I love to recall all the many different NSDs or directors that taught me valuable lessons, and I would love to share several with you. In my first year of directorship, I was faced with a very serious health issue, and I sought out the advice of NSD Arlene Lenars. She listened so intently, and when she repeated to me these words, "And do not be afraid. There's power in the telephone." You see, I was so wrapped up in my fear. I trusted her words without hesitation. As a result, the month that I spent in the hospital, I went from doing 5,000 in unit production to Cadillac and my first unit club, and we never looked back. Today, we must trust and know that there's power in the virtual experience. We can pivot. We have pivoted. We all can learn these skills. This lady in this very interesting age of my life have learned many new skills, and so can each of you. I'm not as fast as most, but guess what? I'm getting it. NSD Joanne Holman, Emeriti, told me and gave me 2 powerful lessons in one swift afternoon. Joanne was hosting a workshop. I arrived early to help in any way I could. It was a cold winter evening, and as I walked in, I thought I looked pretty cute in my director's suit and my winter coat. But Joanne looked at me and in my white wool coat and said, "What are you doing in that cloth coat?" You see, at that time, directors could earn a mink coat or a diamond ring in the Circle of Excellence. Well, you know, we can come up with the best of excuses when we're cornered, right? Well, I quickly replied back to Joanne, "Joanne, that coat would not look so good on me. It is designed for tall, thin ladies." And only in Joanne's perfect New York style replied quickly and sharply to me, "What has that got to do with it? You earn the coat, and you ask Mary Kay to give you a different coat. Top directors wear mink coats." Not only did she teach me what is expected of a top director, image, she didn't accept my excuse. Tough love is golden when delivered with good intention. Yes, I earned that coat. I got a different coat. Most importantly, I learned to expect to win, to lead by example, and to listen to those who had what I wanted. I will be forever grateful to you, Joanne. It is our responsibility to teach by our words and our actions, to be go-give and to honor the golden rule in every facet of our lives. Image? Mary Kay never, ever missed an opportunity to teach image or good manners. In this day and age when we're seeing everyone go so casual and sloppy, I'm asking, and I know Mary Kay would ask us to uphold our professional image. I'm so thrilled to see on Facebook pictures of directors picking up their new cars in their director suit. Never, ever be caught picking up our beautiful cars in jeans or slacks. It's image, image, image. She would also ask us to keep our cars clean and sparkling. She said, you may be the only Mary Kay someone will ever see. I was attending an event recently, and as I was parking my car, the woman realized it was a pink Cadillac. Well, I was holding my $20 ready to give it to her because I wanted to get to that event so I would be on the front row. Well, she was so excited. She was hyperventilating. She was saying, is this really a Mary Kay pink Cadillac? I said, in my haste to get out, I said, would you like to have your picture with the pink Cadillac? Oh, yes, would you? Well, I quickly took her picture. I posed with several, and I got her number and texted them to her. You know, we all can have fun stories like this when we know we make a difference. Golden rule business meaning do unto others as you would have them do unto you. What goes around comes around. What can we do individually and as a group to uphold the golden rule philosophy? It all ends and begins with one. One woman made a difference. You are that one woman in your family, in your community, your church, that can and does make a difference. I always like to close my presentation with this special poem. Mary Kay had just returned from a trip, and it was at the 25th anniversary celebration she read us this poem. She told us it was written anonymously. However, I choose to believe she wrote it. In my heart, these are her words to us. I have a premonition that soars on silver wings. I dream of your many accomplishments, of many wondrous things. I do not know beneath which sky or where you will challenge fate. I only know it will be high. I only know it will be great. I believe she wrote these words for you and for me for today. My unit gave me a gift with this poem, along with a picture of Mary Kay with this quote. There are many things in life that will capture your eye, but very few will capture your heart. I'm counting on this leadership capturing your heart, your spirit, a new renewal, a commitment to go give to our culture, to being committed to being all that you're capable of being. No excuses. You are special. You have a destiny. If you don't do it, who? Who is more deserving than you? And if not now, when? When would there ever be a more perfect time for you? Who will pass the torch of Go Give? Ladies and gentlemen, it is your turn, and I'm asking you to pick up the torch, your torch. Go forth and pass this torch. This is your turn to be bold, to be brave, and be amazing. Be the leaders of tomorrow, of 2021, and beyond. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Ann Sherman, blasting out.